My name is Pixie People, and let's just get right into it because I don't want to do an intro. Peace. Well, we continue our story. Where Deku is just chilling in his house. Basically, his house. It's the training area with the bulldozer guy. He even has his own dedicated room in that area. Until someone comes knocking, opens the door, and it's Skinny All Might. And then Deku just says, All Might, Midoriya, Magamin. Alright. All Might comes in, sits down, so does Deku. Then All Might explains that one of my friends, Sir Night Eye, would like to test if you are a hero and not just a person for fame. That makes absolutely no sense, All Might. That's what I said to him, but guess he's just testing your morals. Would you like to do that? It gives you credit. Deku says, "All right, where's this based on?" A couple hours later, Deku's there in the All Might's limousine. He enters, tells All Might if he doesn't like being here, he'll leave, and no one's going to stop him. And All Might just agrees. You do not have to do this, remember. Alright, All Might, see ya. Deku enters the building to find Mirio. He doesn't know who Mirio is, but we know who Mirio is. So Mirio is telling Deku follow him, and then Deku follows him to his office. Sonata says, "So you came? You came? Yep. So I'm gonna test you." And it takes out one of his his wait, what is that called? A stamp. One of his stamps. Stampers? Tells him to take it from him. But be warned, it will be a difficult challenge. So, before Tsunade can even see, they could change spots in the room with the stapler in hand. Oh, sorry, dude. You just weren't fast enough. Do you read my future? Yeah. You can read the future. I looked you up when we were driving over here, bro. I don't trust you. Oh, and then Endeavor breathes through his nose, says, "You may join my internships if you want to now." Okay, here's it back. And Sonata catches it, and then Deku leaves the area. And Mirio says that they have to gets his hero costume on outside, then sees the Deku just walks out casualized. Mirio says, "Did you pass?" "Yep." "Alright." Then he pushes off the thing, telling him that we have to go on uh, some recon. Okay. So they head out, and they're walking, and eventually Deku gets bumped, and he turns to see a girl, a tiny girl. He sits down, says that, "Where's your parents?" She doesn't answer, and then Deku sees some bandages on her. He knows that there's something off, obviously, but he knows if he tries to just pick up the girl it will look even more suspicious if he doesn't. So he just keeps talking to the girl, very friendly. Basically, if you were walking by, you would think this is just a hero conversing with a kid. Especially since he's a teenager, and there's another teenager right next to him that legit has Lemillion on his thing. So of course you just assume it's just a nice gesture. And Deku's just talking to her until this bird mask guy comes up. Deku gets up, tells her that, are you her father? He says yes in the most not totally non-threatening voice. Yeah, we both know no. Deku um, says, I have a hard time believing that, sir. Then Mirio grabs onto his shoulder, telling him this isn't a time. And Deku places a. Mirio hears a voice in his head, but it's Deku's voice. I I put a bug next to your ear. Don't be worried. It doesn't do anything, except for me to talk to you through my psychic link to this technology. I would like you to get your hand off my shoulder first and trust me. And Mirio gets his hand off his shoulder, and then trust Deku. Then Deku disappears from sight, and so does Eri. Like, they both just disappear. Yeah, that's how fast Drive Knight is. He can, like, disappear from the blink of an eye. What really happened is if we slow down the, slow the cameras down, is that Deku turned into his white-haired state, freaking charged up instantly, grabbed Eri, and just blitzed away. He's, by the way, he's, like, all the way at Sonata's agency already. And Mirio's just left there with an Overhaul, which Overhaul then gets mad and tries to get Mirio, but Mirio phases through the ground and then just leaves immediately. So Overhaul immediately chases after them in his truck. Mirio, just Mirio, because he couldn't see Deku. He gets at the agency and just immediately bombards it, exploding the building. But luckily for Deku, he got out of there before the blaze exploded. So eventually, Deku shows up again, without Eri this time, because Eri is at a total different side of the city. And Deku says, you ain't having that girl. And everyone says that he's yelling on his whole speech about how he needs to cleanse the world of this virus that has invaded the world. Deku isn't listening, mostly because of the fact that the guy also has a quirk. He doesn't really care what you have to say, bro. You have a quirk as well, so he ain't listening. So he actually slows down his power-up state so the guy can witness it. He becomes his white-haired state with his purple flames. Tells the guy that he's gonna kill him. And then Overhaul finally tells Deku his name. His name is Overhaul, and no way this kid is gonna defeat me. And then what happens is the buff guy shows up with the shield, the guy who can manipulate the ground, and that guy with the top, and the guy that looks like a plague doctor. Presumably, Overhaul's boyfriend, but we don't know. They try punching at Deku. Well, the big guy tries punching at Deku, but Deku blitzes him and just penetrates him. Freaking actually just shoves his entire fist through him. The guy spits out blood through his mask, and Deku tears it out, and then cuts the guy's throat. It's splurting all over the damn place. Even hitting the guy's shield, the guy puts it down because it's disgusting. That's where Deku sees his opening, and slams his freaking face through the guy's face. Straight up, straight up man style. Then he blitzes right behind the guy who can manipulate the ground. Luckily, the guy that did that immediately put his hands on the ground and hit Deku with a wall, but Deku just exploded it, shattering it into little tiny rock pieces, grabbing both pieces and slamming those rock pieces into the guy's head, squishing it. And then the guy falls over. And then Deku turns around, then immediately gets shot with a bullet, but the bullet does nothing because he's freaking made of a steel, a very thick steel. Blitzes the guy with the bullet and breaks his shins. And then Overhaul sees how much trouble he's in, so he immediately grabs his presumably boyfriend, I don't know, the play doctor, grabs him by the wrist, and then he explodes him, fusing him with him. Then immediately Deku tries to punch it all for one, Overhaul, but Overhaul immediately blows up again, shooting Deku away. Then him becoming his giant state, while Mirio, we can see him grabbing Eri, with Eri, phasing through ground, until Eri says that they can't just leave Deku to die. And until Mirio says he'll be fine. So we see Deku just sitting there, waiting for All For One to do a move. That until All For One goes for a freaking Giga Slam, and Deku freaking extends his hand like a Namekian, and he grabs a piece of rock, rhubarb that was sticking out of All For One. Yeets himself up to him, and then starts running across his body, old Kratos style. And then starts running even faster, and then starts spinning so far that he cuts the big bird thing in half. Then he blitzes downwards, slamming into the ground, making All For One lose his footing. And Deku hitting with a freaking kamikaze type slam in the head. And then he starts shooting flames off of him. Remember that scene in season 2 where Genos was shooting right into the centipede's face? Last episode? That one? Yeah, basically like that. And then Deku shoots off all of his cylinders to shoot upwards, and then hits him with a Sharukan, and then knocks All For One into the sky. All For One, nope, Overhaul, right out of his bird body, with only his legs and his arms, none of his big birds thing or his bird mask, just him, shirtless, by the way. Because, Deku cut his shirt off while he was punching him in the upwards. And then All For One. Then Deku just flies up and just smacks the out of one of All For One's arms. Then tears the other one clean off and just slams him into a mattress. Exploding the mattress, but All For One's fine. Overhaul's fine. Deku sighs, saying, I wish I could have killed you. Putting his head on All For One's head. But I can't. Well, that's where I'm going to leave things right now. Like, subscribe, hit the post notification bell, because all of that helps me get to my 50 subscriber goal. Because people are not subscribing that much as they used to. Well, see y'all. Bye-bye.